Lieutenant Munson, in your efforts to locate your fellow officer and friend, Detective Snyder, did you have the opportunity to enlist the help of the St. Genevieve Police Force?
Yes, I did.
And would you please tell us what you discovered in your joint investigation?
That after the accident here in Oakdale, Jack was treated unsuccessfully for amnesia at the St. Genevieve Hospital, where he was living in that town under the name of Jack Jackson. We later learned that he paid a known forger for fraudulent identification, where he used that identification to obtain an illegal license to marry Julia Larrabee.
Lieutenant, in your experience, is this behavior consistent with what you would expect from Detective Snyder?
No, ma'am, absolutely not. As Your Honor knows, from years of watching Jack testify in this very room, he is scrupulously law-abiding.
Thank you, Lieutenant. I'm finished with this witness.
Detective, any questions?
No.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Ms. Griffin?
I'd like to call Ms. Greta Williams.
How'd they find her?
Ms. Williams is the caseworker for the state of Missouri assigned to Detective Snyder's case. So, Detective Snyder left the hospital against doctor's orders.
Yes, he was still suffering effects of his injuries. In particular, he had no memory of his life before the accident. No idea who he was or where he'd come from.
Given his condition, why would he leave the hospital?
None of us could figure that out until we discovered where he was staying.
Wait a minute. Wait. Julie had nothing. I signed myself out of the hospital.
And why did she hide the fact that you'd moved in with her?
Detective, if you wish to question this witness, you may do so after Miss Griffin has finished. Unless, of course, you have an objection.
Oh, yeah, I have an objection. I want to object to this entire circus. I'm fine, Your Honor. She's the one with the problem, not me.
Mrs. Snyder is not the issue, Detective. You are.
Continue, Miss Griffin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Williams, when you discovered that Detective Snyder had moved in with the nurse who was giving him care, what did you do?
I questioned her. She insisted that he'd recovered his memory.
Had Detective Snyder recovered his memory?
No.
So Nurse Larrabee lied to you about his condition?
Yes.
What did you do when you realized that she had lied about Detective Snyder's condition?
I recommended to her and Jack that he return to the hospital on an outpatient basis to continue his treatment. They chose to ignore my recommendation.
Dr. Harris, have you had the opportunity to review Detective Snyder's medical file from St. Genevieve's Hospital?
Yes, I have.
And what is your expert opinion of the care he received?
Well, given Detective Snyder's injuries and the seriousness of his complaint, overall, I'd have to say that his medical care was inadequate.
That's not true. We saved his life. And then you stole his life.
Mrs. Snyder?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. But she's a nurse. She knew how sick he was, and you were the social worker. She refused to get him treatment. There's no treatment for amnesia, Carly.
No, there certainly isn't. Not when you don't want him to recover.
Of course you wanted me to recover.
She was in our house, Jack.
She knew all about your life. She knew about me. She knew about the children, and she didn't tell you. She lied to you.
Not because I didn't want him to recover.
She trusted to get you the proper medical care. She doesn't even want you to remember who you are.
I would never do anything
because
to hurt
she
you.
knows that if you do, you will leave her.
Enough! Or I'll throw you both out of this hearing.
You've been given fair warning. Respect this hearing, or I'll cite you for contempt. I'll jail you if I have to. Understood?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Griffin, is there anything else you'd like to ask this witness?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Detective Snyder, any questions for the doctor?
Well, I'd like to say something. If it's allowed. I mean, everyone seems to get shots at me. I'd like to have equal time, if I may.
Your Honor.
Yes, what is it you'd like to say, Detective?
Look, I know I don't know who I used to be or what my life looked like, and I'm sure it was rough. on everyone thinking I was dead. But let me tell you something. It wasn't exactly a picnic on my end. I was scared. I was lost. I was hurt and confused. But this woman, my wife, first she nursed me back to health. And then she gave me a reason to keep going. I got a job, started making plans for the future. I knew what I was doing, Your Honor. And yes, I recognize that I have obligations here. I have children, a daughter that I can't wait to get to know again. And Parker, I am no deadbeat dad. I'll do my part, but I resent feeling like I'm being punished and my family's being punished for something that's not my fault. I didn't choose to lose my memory. And I'm sorry for the pain that it's caused and the problems that it's caused. I'm begging you, please. Don't make things worse. Please, Your Honor, let me keep what I have.
It is not the intention of this court to punish you, Detective. I remember you, Detective. And I have to say, I find you altered. And I cannot, in good conscience, allow you to abandon your history, which has such strong claims on you. So I'm granting Mrs. Snyder for temporary guardianship pending the outcome of physical and psychological exams. You are hereby ordered to return to your home in Milltown, where your wife, Carly Tenney Snyder, will oversee your physical and financial needs.
You have so many. I'm not doing it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
I sympathize with your situation, Detective. However, your refusal to comply only proves my point. You have forgotten the law. I will remind you. Defying a court order places you in contempt and forces me to issue a bench warrant for your arrest. You will be picked up and remanded to the state hospital for evaluation. I don't think anyone wants that to happen. We will reconvene in 30 days, at which time I will review the reports submitted by your various physicians. Dr. Harris. Dr. Harris?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'd like to excuse.
In a moment, Doctor. Would you be willing to oversee Detective Snyder's evaluation and treatments and report back to the court?
Yeah, I can. No?
No. The bailiff will have some forms for you to sign at the conclusion of the hearing. So you may step down, though, Doctor. Thank you for your patience. Mrs. Snyder?
Yes, Your Honor.
Given the inherent tensions, I'm going to assign a court officer to accompany you when you pick up your husband.
Your Honor.
Yes?
Would you allow me to accompany Mrs. Snyder?
Thank you, Lieutenant. Ms. Griffin, any other issues?
No, Your Honor, and thank you for your consideration.
Detective Snyder, anything you'd like to say?
It's not going to change anything.
I hope you're wrong, Detective. This concludes our business here today.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, but this is only round one.
I know, but at least Jack will get the testing that he needs. And with Ben overseeing his care, I know that he'll be able to do something to help him.
I hope so. Listen, call me if you need anything. Okay.
Thanks. He loves you. And once he gets his memory back...
What if he doesn't? What if he never remembers?
He will. How could anybody forget you? Come on.